Hi, we're having a conversation with Fredy Kofman. He's international business consultant and also author of The Conscious Business. Mr. Kofman, conscious about what?
Well, business that's conscious, I call a group of people that get together for a purpose that is significant for them, as opposed to unconsciously trying to satisfy automatic, animalistic impulses. So, I mean, you can get together to survive, which is fine, it's necessary, but the higher levels of consciousness in a company or a human being is when you start asking yourself, what is the meaning of my existence? Why am I here? What's my legacy? How am I going to contribute to something that's bigger than myself and more enduring? So most people, unfortunately, I think, see business as a mere satisfaction of the lowest impulses of the human being. And it has a bad reputation because people say, well, business people are greedy, they're evil, if you make money, it's at the expense of other people. And I don't deny that some business people are like that. That's like saying some human beings are predators and they satisfy their impulses by taking from others. But at the highest level of consciousness, a business is an act of service. You make money by offering people goods and services that are so valuable to them that they're willing to pay you more than what it costed you to produce them. That's the notion of value added. So a conscious business is a business that I dare to say is based on love. It's based on the Greek notion of agape, which is a commitment to the welfare and the growth of anybody around me. So it's a heart desire to see other people grow, to give them something that's valuable for them, something that will help them, and in exchange receive from them the resources that will enable me to thrive and to grow and not only survive, but actually live.
You have mentioned values, and in the context of business and consciousness, what is the value of property?
I think the capitalist system is the ultimate wisdom in terms of decentralized production and allocation of goods and services in a society. The incredible matrix of exchanges where human beings trade with one another for mutual benefit and therefore voluntarily is I'd say it's much more important than fire or the wheel. There are societies that did not have the wheel, but there are no societies without division of labor and without decentralized trade. So the infrastructure for that matrix of exchange is that every human being has to be secure in the property of the resources that they will either give or receive in the transaction. When you don't have that standardized notion of property, you have a group of slaves. You don't have a group of human beings. You have a group of people that cannot live except by the permission of their masters who own the property. So property is not a thing, but the notion of property is the permission of human beings to be masters of their own life. So at the global level, at the level of a society, the notion of property rights, it's fundamental to the existence of a conscious or voluntary, non-violent society. When we look at a company, the microcosmos of a company trying to operate in an uncertain environment where there are a lot of strategic choices and it's very difficult to determine which way to go. There's no conclusive argument or evidence that will define this is the best way to penetrate this market or this is the best way to produce this product. As Hayek said, the knowledge in society is dispersed. Nobody has all the answers. So when I work in a company, many times it happens that there's a complex issue and people are debating what to do about it. And everybody has reasons, but nobody can convince everybody else because all the reasons are compelling and at the same time contradictory. And there's no compelling evidence to say one is right and the other is wrong. Given the uncertainty, it's impossible to make a judgment call. At that time, the typical tendency of human beings is to start pushing each other and say, I'm right and you're wrong. And they say, no, I'm right and you're wrong. And there's a basic assumption that we have to define what we're going to do by defining who's right and who's wrong, which is a fallacy, because in this situation, nobody can be determined to be right or to be wrong conclusively. The notion of property rights, I think, simplifies the resolution of this conflict. And what it does is it allows the owner of the company, let's start with a company that's owned by someone because that's the easiest case. It allows the owner of the company to say, look, I understand all your arguments, they're all reasonable and none of them is conclusive. I'm going to choose to go this way, and I'd like your support and commitment to go this way with me, but not because I'm right. I'm not saying I'm right or you're wrong. I'm saying I have to make a bet, and since this is my money, I want to make the bet myself, and if I make a mistake, I'll pay for it. Can you follow me? And that creates a completely different dynamic where the other people can honestly say, yes, I mean, it's reasonable, we're going to follow you, but not because I am wrong. I'll follow you because it's your choice, I respect your choice, and I'm happy to support you. The metaphor I use is, imagine I ask a painter to come to my house, and I say, I'd like to paint my house purple. And the painter says, oh, but purple is an ugly color. I said, well, but I like it. He says, but it's ugly. At the end I said, well, look, I don't want to debate whether it's ugly or pretty. It's my house. So I want you to paint it purple, not because purple is pretty, but because I want it purple, and it's my house. And a normal painter would say, you're right, it's your house. I don't like purple, but I don't have to live here, so I paint it in your color. That is why property rights are so fundamental to resolve conflict in a company without having to destroy your opponent and prove that they're wrong.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kofman, for sharing these ideas with us, and thank you